Your credit score is a 3-digit number that will follow you around for the rest of your life. It's the thing that determines whether you can rent an apartment, buy a car, get a mortgage, and sometimes whether you get a job. Nobody explained this to me when it started mattering, so here we go. This is what it actually is and how it actually works. At its core, credit is a reputation just converted into a number. That number, that's new, but the reputation system, that's ancient. Well, we're gonna get there. Credit is borrowed money. When someone gives you credit, they are letting you use their money with the agreement that you're gonna pay it back later, plus a fee for the privilege of borrowing it. That fee, that's called interest. It exists because lending money involves a risk, and people who take risks expect to be compensated for them. That's not cynicism, that's just how it works. And not all credit works the same way. It helps to know the difference. Revolving credit is the kind that resets. A credit card is the most common example. You have a credit limit, say $2,000. You can borrow up to that amount, pay it back, and borrow it again. The danger is that the balance can grow indefinitely if you only make the minimum payments. And those minimum payments, they're calculated to keep you paying for as long as possible. Installment credit is the opposite. You borrow a fixed amount and pay it back in set payments over a fixed period of time, like a car loan, or a student loan, or a mortgage. It does not revolve, it ends. That means there's a finish line, which is either reassuring or really distant depending on the loan. Some loans are collateralized, meaning you put up an asset to secure the debt. You know, collateral. A mortgage is going to use your house. If you stop paying, the lender is going to take your house. Collateral gives the lender protection, which is why collateralized loans carry lower interest rates. There's less risk for them. Better rate for you. Unsecured credit has no collateral. A credit card, a personal loan. The lender cannot automatically take something if you stop paying them. But they could damage your credit and take you to court. Higher risk for them means higher rates for you. Credit cards are the most common form of credit most people encounter first. When you swipe, you're not spending your own money. You're borrowing from the bank that gave you the card, with the agreement that you're going to pay it back at the end of the month. And if you pay the full balance, you're not going to pay any interest. You borrowed for free for a few weeks. That's a good deal. But if you carry a balance, the bank starts charging you interest on the remaining amount. Most credit cards are above 20% annually right now. A $1,000 balance at 20%, paid off only in the minimum payments, can take you years to repay at a cost that's significantly more than what you originally borrowed. The thing that you bought, it's gone, but the debt, it's still there. This is the trap. And there's a category of lending that deserves its own warning. Predatory lending targets people who are desperate, people with no savings, bad credit, and no good options. Payday loans can charge fees equivalent of up to 300%. Title loans let you borrow against your car, but then they repossess your car if you can't pay. Rent-to-own schemes are where you end up paying twice the retail price for a used appliance. The loans, they're engineered to keep people borrowing to pay off the last loan, generating fees every single time. If a lender is advertising heavily in low-income neighborhoods, offering loans with no credit check, or charging fees that seem mathematically wrong, those are warning signs. Knowing what this looks like is how you protect yourself from them. Now here's the part that changes how you think about everything that you just learned. Every payment you make or miss gets recorded. Every balance you carry, every account you open, somebody is keeping score. That record is your credit history. And from that history, a number gets calculated. Your credit score, 3 digits, 300 to 850. The higher that number, the more trustworthy you look to a lender. Lenders evaluate trustworthiness using 3 factors. The first one, character. Do you pay on time? The next one, capacity. Can you actually afford another payment given what you already owe? And the third one, collateral. What are you putting up to back the loan? Your credit score? That's the lender's way of measuring those first 2 before they even meet you. So, why does this score even matter? Well, it matters because it follows you everywhere. A car loan, a mortgage, apartment, some jobs, they check it. A good score means lower interest rates, better terms, more options. A bad score means higher rates, worse terms, or being turned down. A person with a high score and a person with a low score can apply for the same mortgage and end up with payments that differ by hundreds of dollars per month. Over 30 years, That gap costs tens of thousands of dollars. So that number, it has real consequences. The good news is that credit scores can be built and repaired. So pay on time every time and don't use too much of the credit that's actually available to you. Those two things do most of the work. Which brings us back to where we started. Credit is a reputation converted into a number. People have been giving credit out since the very first merchant gave a stranger money then told him to pay him back when he comes back from his voyage. The stranger either did or did not. That record though, it followed him either way. Same as it does now. Your word, your history, your track record. But now, it's formalized into math. Just with a better filing system. See you next time.